As I'm recording this voiceover, it will be 2 days until Wicked comes out in theaters. Hopefully I can get this video out before it's released, because in this video I want to talk about what I'm looking forward to in Wicked and why I think it's going to be a good, if not great film. I want to address the quote-unquote cracks / controversies first though there aren't that many. First things first, of course, that whole poster debacle that Cynthia Erivo got into. I think there is something deeper going on there, and I'm glad that people are talking about it and discussing the more complex implications of that whole incident. But overall, I think we were able to recover from that, but I do think that that incident did do a little damage to the reputation that this film had, because this film has an aggressive marketing strategy and it seemed to be working and just picking up steam, but this incident might have caused some people to jump off board. But ultimately, I think most of us are still in for the ride. So that's one little crack. The second little crack that I have is more personal to me, but I'm a little worried about the visuals in this movie. First of all, with the CGI, at least in the trailers, there are a good amount of shots where it's obviously green screen and obviously CGI. Backgrounds and environments look flat and lacking depth and proper lighting, so that definitely makes some sequences feel awkward. Hopefully they can patch up those shots before the theatrical release, but overall I think the CGI is good. And besides, a lot of the stuff in this film is practical. Second thing regarding the visuals is the lighting. I don't know if it's just me, but the light in this film is intense, especially the light rays and the sunlight. I kind of like the prominent sunlight and light rays, but I just wished that they were like 5% less intense and less bright, because those light rays are constantly distracting. Final thing regarding the visuals, I feel like this film has a really good color palette and uses color well, but I feel like it could benefit from more vibrance in terms of color grading. This film to me looks colorful, as in there's a lot of colors, but it's not vibrant, if that makes sense. If they just push the saturation and vibrance on the color wheel a little bit further to the right, like how I'm doing to the footage in this video, then I think the film would benefit more. And finally, the last two little concerns that I have with this film are the storytelling and the performances. Some of the performances, at least in the trailers, are kind of awkward and wooden. That scene with Michelle Yeoh where she's like, "Don't let them get away," or something like that, was very awkward, but part of that awkwardness is, I think, attributed to the cartoonish storytelling, because what I'm getting so far from the trailers is that this film is pretty outlandish and out there when it comes to their characters. Pretty much everyone at Shiz University is completely one-dimensional and shallow, except for maybe Glinda, and Elphaba is actually a really good character, but you know, the rest of them are kind of shallow. The people of Oz as well, it seems. You know, they're dancing as they're lighting the statue of Elphaba, and then the people at Shiz are just laughing at Elphaba for looking different. Very shallow behaviors. These characters are written in a way that makes us not like them, and that's a little bit concerning when it comes to audience engagement, because I don't really want to see a bully fest for 2.5 hours. But hopefully when we're actually watching the film, it's more nuanced and less one-dimensional. You know what isn't one-dimensional though? And this is where we can get to the good stuff. Elphaba. I love Elphaba, and I love Cynthia Erivo's depiction of Elphaba. She is so likable and rootable in the trailers. She's very complex and not shallow like the rest of the other characters. You can easily like her. Her outfits are so good, and she just feels so much more relatable and like a real person rather than these other kind of caricatures of people. But I have faith that some of the other characters will come around and be more complex because of the interviews that I've seen with this cast. They all have a really great dynamic together, so I feel like that must reflect back on screen. So I'm still holding out hope. And in terms of the visuals, yes, the CGI, lighting, and use of colors could be better, but the cinematography itself, like the creativity of the shots, is pretty up there. I see a lot of great creative shots in the trailers, like the one with Elphaba's hand shadow on the book. That was great. I'm expecting really good cinematography from this film. Actually, off topic a little bit, one more concern that I have with the visuals is that some shots look really hazy and misty, like there's a layer of fog covering the lens. Yeah, so sometimes that's distracting. But anyways, back to the good stuff. I mean, this is a musical movie, so the sound design and music is gonna be out of this world. I have no doubt about that. Like, as we've seen and heard in the trailers, this movie is gonna have really good music. Costume designs are great. Everyone looks posh. A good amount of the sets are practical, and the designs for those sets are great. What this movie really needs to excel at is the world building and the good dialogue, because from the trailers, I feel like this movie is trying to be a mix of Harry Potter, Paddington, and Mean Girls. And so if that's what they're going for, then I'm really up for that, but they need to hit the elements that make all those three movies great. The rich world building of Harry Potter, the sincerity of Paddington, and the quippiness of Mean Girls. That's quite a lot to juggle, but from the trailers alone, I think they can manage that. I want to see more talking animals, I want to see more locations, because from the trailers alone, this movie feels kind of claustrophobic. Like we need to see more of this world, the yellow brick road, just more locations, really build out this world. And dialogue so far from the trailers seems really good. They really need to maintain that standard so that the storytelling can excel. I wish nothing but the best for this film and the second part. And yeah, hopefully this franchise becomes popular. I would sing the rest of that song, but I don't want to get copyright claimed. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. What are your thoughts on Wicked? Are you excited to watch that film? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to read your responses. Thank you for watching again. Have a wonderful day.